Chance here for Cunha! Mateus Cunha! Left centre, finds a boomer in the area! Yes! That is clinical! Bruno Fernandes picks up Benjamin Sesko! It's the spirit of Fergie time!
Michael Carrick's switch to a back four has sparked United's remarkable turnaround in the Premier League, allowing his players to shine in their natural positions. But in truth, the real game changer has been his decision to reintegrate the once alienated Kobbie Mainoo, whose return to United's midfield has revitalised their game in ways that even Ruben Amorim couldn't achieve. So what sparked this resurgence? And why is Mainoo, now more than ever during his career at Old Trafford, becoming crucial to this United side? Before Amorim's dismissal in early January, Mainoo had made just one start, an unfortunate outing in the Carabao Cup defeat to League Two side Grimsby Town. Meanwhile, in the Premier League, he played just 228 minutes across 12 appearances, all of which came from the bench he spent more time warming than his girls' cheeks. When rotating the team, even Manuel Ugarte of all players was preferred over him, with the Uruguayan logging 694 minutes under Amorim compared to Mainoo's 311 total minutes.
You love Kobbie, he starts for England, but that doesn't mean that I need to put Kobbie when I feel that I shouldn't put Kobbie, so it's my decision.
It's fair to say the former head coach showed a puzzling reluctance to trust Mainoo despite the 20-year-old academy graduate being the only creative option among United's natural central midfielders. Heck, Amorim would probably start Onana or even himself over Mainoo in midfield if he could. His preferred 3-4-2-1 system utilised just two central midfielders and a double pivot, which prompted him to deploy Bruno Fernandes there alongside Casemiro to bolster United's build-up play, as well as to fit both Cunha and Mbeumo in his front three. The assumption was that Mainoo's lack of defensive work was the reason things didn't work under Amorim, who believed they were too stylistically similar and could only be rotated in a like-for-like manner. And, let's be honest, no one in United's midfield is starting over Bruno when he's available. It wouldn't be hard to imagine a Bruno-Mainoo partnership being just as vulnerable as the other combinations Amorim has fielded. However, their skill sets are certainly different enough to question why they were competing for the same spot in the first place, especially considering how much Bruno's attacking influence was missed further up the pitch. By December, Mainoo's situation had reached a tipping point, nearly pushing him to pursue a winter loan move to salvage what remaining chances he had of making the England World Cup squad. But since being reintegrated by Carrick following Amorim's dismissal, Mainoo has seized his opportunity with both hands. By the way, if you're enjoying the video so far, we'd be incredibly grateful if you subscribed. Your support helps us grow and continue creating the content you love. They say love is blind, but when it comes to Mainoo, the affection coursing through Manchester is anything but unfounded. First and foremost, he is a true son of United, making the fans' adoration for him entirely expected. Yet the reasons for their fervour run deeper than his simply being an English academy graduate. Back when Mainoo first stepped onto the pitch for his Premier League debut in November 2023, it was a case of love at first sight. Why? Well, amidst the pantheon of the club's recent midfielders, it was his technical attributes that shone brightest, dribbling past opponents in tight spaces and receiving possession under pressure.
He uses class, calmness at such a young age is incredible.
During the 2023-24 season, injuries in United's midfield combined with Mainoo's unique profile and confident displays quickly established him as a key member of the squad as he went on to score in the FA Cup final. However, it's important to remember that he had only turned 19 in April of that campaign. What were you doing at 19? And even by the end of 2024, there were still areas of his game that needed improvement. Footballers aren't perfect though, and it is the head coach's job to devise a style of play that gets the best out of his squad while developing young talents. Whether Amorim failed in this regard is up for debate, but it is fair to criticise the lack of minutes he gave to Mainoo, and how his preferred back three system reduced the number of attacking profiles in favour of more defenders, yet still proved leakier than a faulty condom you'd get from the dollar store. Fortunately for Mainoo, Amorim's sacking has brought him right back into the picture. Under Carrick, the switch to a back four has allowed United to field an extra attacking profile regardless of their shape across different phases of play. Significantly, this has freed up a spot for Bruno Fernandes in the central number 10 role, in turn allowing Mainoo to slot right into the double pivot alongside Casemiro. His partnership with Casemiro, one that Amorim had deemed unfeasible, has been impressive in of itself. let alone the fact that it has freed up Bruno to flourish higher up the field. The balance he brings to the team is one thing, but the excitement for fans to see an academy graduate shine is another. The Red Devils have 5 wins and a draw under Carrick so far, and key to their rise has been a magnificent Mainoo pulling the strings from midfield. The Englishman registered 2 assists in Carrick's first 5 games and was unlucky not to record a third, being denied by a marginal offside against West Ham. Only Bruno registered more during this period, while only Lisandro Martinez has logged more minutes under Carrick. Across those 5 matches, the young midfielder also created 7 chances, completed 255 passes and made an impressive 78 successful passes into the final third. Key to Mainoo's resurgence has been United's in-possession ideas under Carrick, particularly the decision to relieve him and Casemiro of the responsibility of delivering line-breaking passes to the forwards. After all, breaking the lines with zipped passes isn't one of Mainoo's strengths. So by assigning that duty to players who are adept at spamming these types of passes like Martinez and Maguire, Carrick is effectively utilising the squad's profiles to the team's advantage. As a result, Mainoo frequently finds himself in positions to combine with the front 4, carry the ball into space or recycle possession to restart an attack. These options align perfectly with his profile, as they allow him to excel in short passing combinations in central areas, aided by the narrowness and flexibility of the inside forwards. Under Amorim, Mainoo averaged just 12.5 passes per game. Under Carrick, by contrast, that number jumps to 56.4, with an impressive passing accuracy of 92%. These aren't just sideways passes back to defenders either. In 12 substitute appearances under Amorim, Mainoo recorded just 6 key passes, while he has already tallied 7 with Carrick in charge. Additionally, his press resistance and ability to receive the ball under pressure during the build-up phase work in tandem with Carrick's ideas, which aim to draw opponents higher up the pitch before combining to find the front 4 in the spaces between the lines or behind the defence. Under Carrick, United's high press has been largely inconsistent as a unit, making it difficult to evaluate individual performances in this facet of play. Nevertheless, the team has looked solid in their 4-4-2 mid and low block, with Mainoo notably demonstrating improved defensive awareness and positioning compared to previous seasons. The Englishman has won back possession 13 times in the middle third and 5 times in the final third, the most in the team since Carrick's first game in charge, while only Martinez has won the ball more times across the entire pitch than Mainoo during this period. He has also been tenacious in his work rate, ranking 2nd on the team for tackles made and high presses applied under Carrick. With the removal of a centre-back amid the formation change, he would have been forgiven if you thought Mainoo's increased responsibilities would expose his defensive frailties. However, this has not yet materialised, thanks to the player's own improvements but also the excellent recent form of his midfield partner Casemiro. Despite being 34 and lacking the pace and intensity he once had, Casemiro has been instrumental in compensating for Mainoo's lack of physicality and challenges in covering large spaces during defensive phases. This makes finding a suitable replacement for the outgoing Brazilian absolutely vital for both the team as well as for Mainoo's development. It's easy to forget that Mainoo is still a 20-year-old whose career is just beginning, and the development into the player he has the potential to become is far more important than who he is today. While his future at Old Trafford was subject to speculation under Amorim, the Red Devils are reportedly poised to offer the youngster a new and improved contract. The next priority will be figuring out who his next partner will be in midfield. But for now, positivity is permeating throughout the squad, which suddenly feels more attuned to the all-important academy, and by extension, to Kobbie Mainoo.
He's had some real highs, he's had some disappointments, that's natural. I was similar myself when you're young and you're coming through, it's no different, you know, and it makes him better, it makes him stronger, it makes him more experienced, and he's showing that at the moment, you know, and he's a joy to watch.
If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe for more content like this. Also, don't forget to hit the notifications bell so you never miss a beat. And with that, we'll see you in the next video.